What's going on, everybody? Happy Black Friday. It's the Jake Brown podcast. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving, hanging out with their friends, with their families, or hanging out by themselves. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with hanging out by yourself. People get all wigged out by that. Like, people who will maybe go out to a restaurant by themselves, that's okay. It's okay to go out somewhere and get some food by yourself. You don't have to socialize all the time, right? You don't have to. So if that's how you chose to spend your day yesterday, kudos to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Gave your brain a little break. No weird conversations. Actually, that's probably one of the better parts of hanging out alone is no weird, awkward conversations. The generic ones are the worst ones. How are you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? How's work going? Oh, work is good. It's like such a superficial, we don't need to do that stuff. Let's get some in-depth conversations going, I had a little bit of an in-depth conversation over Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Stay tuned for that one. It's a little on the dark side, a little morbid. I'm still kind of traumatized to a certain extent. It was a little much. The table wasn't ready for it, but it happened anyway. Well, I'll get into that a little bit later. Man, I feel good this morning. So kind of to, recap a little bit, I think we know that yesterday was my day that I essentially gave myself the green light to get high, to eat sugar, to have caffeine. Green light. I'm in. If I want to do it, I can do it. And I did to a certain extent. I didn't have any caffeine or anything like that. Before I get into my whole kind of recap of Thanksgiving, what I didn't want to have happen was that I went completely overboard with the food or the drinks or the weed or the coffee, causing me to feel like a hot pile of fucking garbage this morning, knowing that I wanted to go to boxing this morning at 9 a.m. So if I was going to punish myself yesterday, it was just going to make it that much more difficult this morning. So for the most part, I was pretty good. I did have a couple of treats here and there. I think I had a total of 3 pieces of pie. 1 piece of pumpkin pie had kind of, I guess it would be considered breakfast or brunch, whatever. It was before noon, and I had a piece of apple pie with some whipped cream. It was delicious. That was the first piece of apple pie or pumpkin pie. Did I say apple pie the first time? I meant pumpkin pie. I had a piece of the pumpkin pie. That was the first piece I'd had since last year, actually, at Thanksgiving. So it tasted really good. And then I want to give myself another little pat on the back because there was some leftover Halloween candy that was sitting on the corner. It was my 2 favorites, Twix and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And not those little bullshit mini Reese's. They were the full-size ones. All right, the full-size ones. I had 1 Twix, which was just the little snack party ones, the little mini ones. I had 1 of those, and I had 1 Reese's Peanut Butter Cup the whole day. I ignored that bag. Even when I was high, I ignored it. I looked at them. I looked at them a lot. But I walked away every time. It was great. I was kind of proud of myself for that one because that could have easily I could have killed that whole bag. And don't think I wasn't fantasizing about it. Just murdering that bag of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Down the hatch, as they say. But I didn't. I kept my cool, kept my head in the game, eye on the prize. Dinner came. I feel like I had a normal amount of food, maybe not by Thanksgiving standards, but I had a normal amount of food. So overall, when I woke up this morning, I felt pretty goddamn good, I felt pretty good. My stomach was a little, a little bit, but, that's just because the sugar definitely got to me. I didn't have too much sugar, but I had way more sugar than I had, the past 3 weeks. So, my body was, it's definitely been worse. I know that. It's definitely been worse, but I felt pretty damn good when I got up this morning. Had my little green crack drink. It's not the athletic greens. It's the first form stuff. I actually did a comparison between the two, like from an ingredient standpoint. I think it's the first form. I can't remember the actual brand. I want to say it's the first. Let's just say it's the first form stuff. I compared that to the athletic greens, and they're essentially the exact same, except one costs way less than the other one. I'll let you guess which one's cheaper. Not the athletic greens, but they're both good, both quality. I have tried them both, but I'm going with the first form one. It seems to do the trick. I mix in. I started putting my salt in there, so I do half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of beetroot powder. Then I do my serving size of creatine, and then I do 2 tablespoons, which equals the brand I use. It equals roughly, I think 18 milligrams of protein, or 18 grams of protein, somewhere in there. And then, a few ice cubes to cool it down. And then I just pound that with a multivitamin, a magnesium supplement, and a fish oil supplement. And that's kind of my go-to in the morning. It was great, man. Went to boxing practice this morning. It was just me and Tank. That was it. We got some good work in over the course of an hour and a half. I do enjoy the morning sessions. I guess I'm kind of doing my little boxing corner now. I do enjoy the morning sessions because there's a lot less people, which means I get more one-on-one time, more one-on-one time. That's what I want. I want the one-on-ones. I want the extra critiques, the extra attention, the extra reps, all that kind of stuff is good. It's not that we don't get that, when there's a big group, but, I'm a competitor. I want all the reps. I want all the reps, just like anyone who's competitive at anything that they're doing, I want all the reps. I don't want to share reps. I want all the reps. I'm a greedy little rep hog. I want the reps. So I do enjoy the mornings because it seems like typically it's, a much smaller group. There's been a couple times where it's just been me, and it's great because I get a whole bunch of attention, a whole bunch of reps, and a whole bunch of one-on-one work. But obviously, had I completely overdone it yesterday, I think I would have had a hard time getting out of bed and getting in there and moving. But fortunately, I was able to control myself yesterday, and that made this morning so much easier to get up and get this day started. It's definitely cold. Whew, man. I don't keep my house very warm in the morning. I mean, that's almost like a cold water plunge just walking down the hallway. Jesus, I'm going to start using my heat a little bit more. But I guess since I'm not having caffeine, that definitely helped wake me up. So that's my little boxing corner. Really not too much to say. I think just the fact I got in there today early on a Friday when, it would have been super easy to just not have gone. I was happy that I got in there and happy that I got that work in. And I may go for a run later today. I mean, it's sunny out. I want to soak as many of those sun rays up as possible As we all know, when they're gone until, next year sometime. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's dive into how Thanksgiving went. So as you know, I was on food probation. Okay, because of last year's debacle, I put myself on a food probation. I was not gonna fuck up another pie. All right, I'm not going 0 for 2 on pies. All right, if I was gonna do a pie, it was gonna be a practice pie, and I was gonna make sure it was good. And I just wasn't in the mood to bake 2 pies. One that could have potentially been terrible, and then I'd had to bake another one, or one that would have been good, and I would have eaten a bunch of it, and then I would have had to bake another one to bring to dinner. So I did what, any smart, resourceful person / lazy person would have done. I found a crock pot recipe for cheesy potatoes, right? How hard could that be? Who fucks up cheesy potatoes in a crock pot, right? Who fucks those up? You just put everything in the crock pot and turn it on, and then you walk away. And that's essentially what this recipe was. The only thing that I changed in the recipe were the potatoes. The recipe called for the pack of the frozen hash browns. All right. And I didn't want to do that. So I bought some just good old fashioned potatoes, nothing crazy, just those brown potatoes, and I cut them up into small cubes though, like maybe the size of dice. That's about the size of dice. All right. I figured, okay, they're small enough. It shouldn't take forever for them to cook through. Right? You would think. Over the course of 4 to 5 hours, they should just cook. Because they're going to be in a crock pot and it's going to be hot as fuck inside there. Man, was I wrong. Oh my God, was I wrong. So I had my crock pot filled and on within 5 minutes of that turkey going in the oven. Okay? I had a timer going 4 hours on low. The recipe called 4 to 5 hours on low or 2 to 3 hours on high. I didn't want to do high. I feel like you're playing with fire at that point. I wanted to go, low and slow. But I was still within the recipe recommended time frame. So I'm kind of, stirring it as I go, and I'm checking them, and I'm like, man, like these potatoes are not getting softer. Oh shit. Please tell me I did not screw the pooch again. My alarm goes off on my phone now at 4 hours. I try these potatoes. These fucking things are basically raw still. And now I'm panicking. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I did it again. I screwed up another dish, and I talked this dish up too. I was like, oh man, I'm making cheesy potatoes. They're going to be so good. Nah. I was probably a little arrogant, thinking that, oh, it's a crockpot recipe. I'm not fucking these up. Rookie move. Rookie move on my part. That's what I get for being an arrogant idiot. So, of course, I'm panicking. So I immediately put the crockpot on high, knowing we probably still have about 45 minutes before we're actually going to eat. By the time we get everything into, platters and bowls and get the table set and, argue over who's sitting where and who's sitting by who and does everybody have something to drink and blah, 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 blah. Like, it was probably pushing another hour, before we actually sat down to eat. So once all that gets sorted out and we're all at the table, I went and I checked one more time and I was like, oh God, please let these things be done. Nope, not done. Shit. It happened. It happened again. It happened Again, 2 years in a row now. 2 years in a row, I have screwed up a dish. And this one was supposed to be easy. Ladies and gentlemen, and kids, if you're out there listening, don't take things for granted. Just because something might seem simple, that does not mean it is going to be simple. Respect the recipe. And I 100% did not respect the recipe. Oh man, I was arrogant. I was a little full of myself. I was feeling myself coming into this Thanksgiving. I was like, oh man, I got this. No. Fumble at the 1 yard line. The other team recovers. This was basically Russell Wilson against the Patriots from the 5. We all know what happened there. Okay. Brutal loss on my part. Brutal loss. Now, did it ruin dinner? Hell no. Dinner was unreal. The turkey was great. There was still sweet potatoes. There was green beans. There was mashed potatoes. Like, we were not hurting for food. This was more of like a redeem Thanksgiving for me. This was me like redeeming myself for serving hands down the worst fucking apple pie ever. I was like, man, I am coming back strong next year. I'm going to play it a little conservative. I'm doing a crock pot recipe, but I'm going to crush it. Nope. Those potatoes crush me. And I just had to sit there. I just had to sit at that table and I just had to take it. You know? I just had to take it like a man. Ugh. I deserved it too. I deserved it. That's what I get for being a little arrogant idiot. Okay, I deserved everything, every burn that was coming my way, all the trash talk. I earned every syllable of the trash talk that came my way. And it wasn't too bad. I think people felt sorry for me. They were just like, oh God, like, man, this guy's, he's on the struggle bus, man. He is on the struggle bus. So dinner begins. Now, let me take you back a few hours. I did decide to have an edible, okay? And I know better than to do what I did. We discussed rookie moves the other day. I think you all know what I'm about to say right now. The ultimate edible rookie move is what? What's the saying? This edible ain't shit. How many times have we said that? How many times have you had an edible and after like an hour and a half, you've said, man, this edible is weak as fuck. And then what do? You have another edible. Not knowing that the first edible hasn't really kicked in yet. For whatever reason, all our bodies are a little different. Sometimes it just takes a while for our bodies to process that edible. And that was 100% the case. So I had that second edible, maybe like a half hour before we had dinner. The first one I had probably 2 hours before that. So we're sitting down to eat, and I just start getting higher and higher and higher and higher. Mind you, I haven't had any cannabis at all in 3 weeks. I haven't even like breathed in weed smoke. Everything has been in the cupboard, in my little weed box. Everything has been put away. I can't even smell it. My tolerance baselined. I am at 0. Fucking sea level. My tolerance is at sea level right now. All right? Before I know it, I am in Denver. That's how high. I am a mile high. And I'm sitting at this table. And The story that I'm about to tell, I don't even know if this is what was actually discussed at dinner. Okay. I don't know if this is what we were actually talking about. I was just so high. This is how I'm remembering the story in my reality in that moment. My reality in that moment was probably very different from the other people who were at the table having the exact same conversation. I was having a totally different conversation, probably on some levels, because I was in Deep Space Nine when they were all talking about what I'm about to get into. I don't know how we got on this topic. I have no idea how we got on this topic. But somehow, my girlfriend's stepfather, his father had passed away earlier this year, months and months ago. Okay? RIP. I know what that's like. It's not fun. They go back to Chicago. Him and my girlfriend's mom, they go back to Chicago for the services. Apparently, there's some sort of issue between the cemetery, the people who run the cemetery, and they were essentially saying, you cannot bury your dad here. You have to purchase another plot within the cemetery. You can't bury next to your mom. You have to bury your father in another plot on the cemetery. And I have no idea why at this point. And I'm hearing this, and this conversation is going on, and everyone is kind of chiming in, and it's like I'm playing verbal tennis trying to keep up. And then I hear someone, I believe the stepdad said, it's going to be sometime next year before he gets buried. And all of a sudden, my eyes start getting bigger and bigger and bigger because he's not buried currently. And it's going to be not until sometime, it's going to be sometime next year before he gets buried in the ground. And I'm starting now to lose my mind. And I'm thinking, oh shit. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? Is anyone, and I'm looking around, and I'm thinking to myself, is anyone else thinking what I'm thinking right now? If you were as high as I was, what would you be thinking when you heard that someone hasn't been buried now for a few months and won't be buried now for a few more months? In my mind, I was thinking, where the fuck is the body at? Who's holding the body? Where's this body been this entire time? Is there a business out there that just stores bodies? This is what's going through my head while we're having dinner still. And then finally, someone asked like why I look so confused. And I just had to say, where's the body? And of course, everyone just started laughing hysterically. And they're like, okay, timeout. He's cremated. Like, he's in an urn. They just need to find a spot to bury the urn. Like, in my mind, I was literally going through, well, we're going to have to go to Chicago and like help dig the grave. Like, I was so high that I was thinking I was going to be a part of this process of like digging a grave to get the body in. It was just, this is why I don't do edibles. This is why I don't do edibles. And then that wasn't even, honestly, the weirdest part. You want to know the weirdest part? I just decided to volunteer that I got my mom in the closet because I haven't buried her yet. So now me and my girlfriend's stepdad, We had a total bonding moment because we have a parent that just lives with us. I know. This is like the weirdest fucking podcast ever. Is there anyone else out there right now who has experienced anything along these lines at all? Go to my Twitter, and now my new Instagram. It's not new, it's an old Instagram, a workout one. I just changed it. Same handle, at Jake Brown Pod. Has anyone had any circumstance remotely similar to this? Where you got a parent, technically, I guess I still live with my mom. I'm 47 years old, I live with my mom. She's in the closet. She did not want to have a service, so I respected her wishes. I had fully intended, I guess, to sprinkle the ashes like at the cove and seaside. It's like, fuck, man, emotionally it's difficult right out of the gate. You know, it's hard. You don't want to deal with it. And then like you blink and it's been years. And it's not something I think about all the time. But I thought about it last night and I decided to volunteer that little fucking nugget of information. Well, and now I'm sharing this with you and I'm not high. So, Jesus, I'm probably going to lose followers over this one. Or someone's going to send the cops to my house to have me evaluated. Jeez, I'm going to get sent to Western State. I swear I'm completely normal for the most part. Like, there's not like anything seriously wrong with me. I don't know. Like maybe other people have gone through something similar. Like life just gets in the way. You just get busy. And then before you know it, you just haven't done anything with the ashes. But I will say, okay, as weird as maybe what I'm saying is right now, there are motherfuckers out there who have like the nice urns, you know, and then they have them on display like in their living room on a fucking mantle. Which is worse? You tell me which one's more weird. I have pictures and trophies on my mantle. What I don't have is my mom. So some of you people out there have like grandparents, your pets. You have all kinds of ashes all over the place. Mine are at least tucked away in a closet in the corner with shirts in front of them. All right. And if I hadn't said anything last night, nobody would have known. Nobody would have known. And it's almost like the more that I'm saying this out loud, like the crazier I sound. The crazier I sound in my own head. Except now I'm listening to these words and I'm thinking, oh God, I got to do something with these ashes. Maybe that'll be my goal for 2024. Actually, I think that was my goal for 2023. Okay, new goal. 2024, I'm going to do something with these ashes. All right? I'm doing something with the ashes. So, in the moment, it was definitely a hilarious situation. I mean, maybe you had to be there. Maybe you're finding some humor in this, laughing at me and how high I was and how crazy this entire set of circumstances was. It was definitely funny in the moment. I'm sure the look of bewilderment on my face was probably photo worthy. To be a fly on a wall during that dinner. So yeah, all in all, fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a great day. Whatever it is that you chose to do, I hope that it made you happy and filled your cup up. All right. Moving on. I got a great Ask Bard for today. This is just like a new segment in this show. Ask Bard. It's Black Friday today. I fucking hate Black Friday. It's so stupid. You know? It's so stupid. People who are sleeping outside to go to fucking Best Buy to buy a TV that's, marked down $20, you're all losers. You're all losers. I said what I said. You're all losers. Get a life. You can literally buy all that stuff from Amazon for the same price. You can wheel and deal when you go in there anyway. Just make an offer. Everything's negotiable. Why are we sleeping outside, like in parking lots, to get a microwave for $19.95 instead of $25? Like, seriously? Come on, people. What are we doing here? So I was curious because, we've all heard of like the horrible incidents that sometimes occur during Black Friday. So my question to Bard was, let me read the question. What are the top 3 worst Black Friday incidents ever in the USA? And I'm pretty sure that Black Friday is only a US thing anyway. I mean, I'm fairly certain they're not doing this bullshit in Italy. They're definitely not doing it in China. All right, so I'm going to go from number 3 to number 1. And this is how Bard ranked them. So maybe you disagree, maybe you won't. At number 3, and you're going to see a common theme with all 3 of these. All right? And you can guess what the common theme is. I'm just going to read these little blurps, and they're not very long. All right? Number 3, 2012 shooting over parking spots. In 2012, 2 men were shot and killed in a parking lot dispute over a parking spot at a Walmart in Tallahassee, Florida. The men were arguing over who had gotten to the spot first when one of them pulled out a gun and opened fire. That's number 3. I mean, a Walmart in Florida? Jesus, strike 1 and strike 2 right there. Like, fuck. I feel like all of these could easily be at a Walmart in Florida. All right, number 2. 2011 pepper spray incident. And how we're having a fucking homicide ranked lower than a pepper spray incident is beyond me, but Bard's going to do what Bard is going to do. In 2011, a woman at Walmart, hint, hint, Walmart, in Rialto, California, pepper sprayed a crowd of shoppers, injuring 20 people. The woman was reportedly upset that she could not get to a sale item. So that's the kind of hissy fit she threw. I don't get my DVD player. I'm going to pepper spray you bitches. Just stop it. Just fucking stop it. Amazon sold the exact same thing. Oh, it's 2011. Was Amazon selling stuff in 2011? I have no idea. Either way, you could have just got it the next day. You could have went to Target. Probably the same price. All right, and the number 1, and I remember this one. I remember this one. Now, I don't know if I would rank this as number 1, because I still feel like when there's homicides involved, that's the worst one. But I think from just a panic and fear standpoint and the number of people that this one affected, this one would probably be pretty bad. 2008 Walmart stampede. And have we all figured out the commonality here between these 3? Fucking ding, ding, ding. Walmart. Jesus. Stop going to Walmart. In 2008, a Walmart store in Valley Stream, New York, was overwhelmed by a crowd of eager shoppers on Black Friday morning. As the doors opened, shoppers trampled each other, resulting in the death of a Walmart employee. Could you imagine how terrifying that would be? One, because people were getting pressed up against the doors before they even opened. So if you are within the first, I don't know, 10 rows of people, there could be 2,000 people behind you surging forward, smashing you into the building. And when those doors open, oh, it's a fucking tidal wave of humans. It's just limbs everywhere, assholes and elbows all over the place. And you know that Walmart employee was probably fucking 98 years old. They didn't stand a chance. They did not stand a chance. Even a young person wouldn't. That'd be tough for anyone. A stampede of people who don't see you and aren't trying to avoid you, tripping and falling, and now you got multiple people on you. Oh, God. What a horrible way to die. I mean, you're just getting suffocated more than anything. You have so many people on you that you can't even take a breath anymore. Ugh. A similar incident happened over in the UK at a soccer match. Grandstands eventually gave out, but people were getting crushed against the fence along the field level. Oh, it was awful. A whole bunch of people got killed. That was a horrible one. It's like, I guess the moral of the story is stop fucking doing Black Friday bullshit and stop going to Walmart. Yeah, that's it. That's my show for today. It's a quick show. I'm going to go hang out with some chickens for a little bit and probably go for a run later. I hope everyone has a great, great, great weekend. I will be back on Monday with another episode. Feel free to give me a follow at Jake Brown Pod on X/Twitter and on Instagram. And again, you can find my shows on iTunes, on Amazon Music, on Spotify, and at some point on Google Podcasts. But fucking hell, Google, what is taking so long? I've submitted my stuff to you guys like 5 days ago, and I'm still not on their platform. So hopefully next week I will end up on Google. All right, that's it. Enjoy your Friday. Happy weekend, and have a great day. I'll talk to you later.